the forbidden fruit. God had created the heavens and the earth. He created the seas and the land, the plants and the trees, the sun, the moon, and the stars. And then God created mankind. He placed them in a beautiful garden called Eden, where they had everything they needed. The garden was filled with trees that were beautiful to look at and good for food. And in the center of the garden stood two special trees. One was the tree of life, and the other was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God gave Adam and Eve freedom to eat from the trees of the garden. But there was one tree they were forbidden to eat from, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And God commanded them, "You may eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For when you eat from it, you will surely die." And so Adam and Eve lived in the garden. They had everything they needed. They lived in peace, without fear or shame, in the presence of God. They knew His command. They knew which tree they were not to eat from. But then, one day, the serpent came to the woman. The serpent was more cunning than any other creature God had made. And the serpent said,
"Did God really say, 'You must not eat from any tree in the garden'?"
Eve answered,
"We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden. But God said, 'From the tree in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die.'"
Then the serpent said,
"You will certainly not die, for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil."
Eve looked at the tree. She saw that its fruit was good for food. It was pleasing to the eye, and she desired the wisdom it seemed to offer. She reached out her hand and took the fruit. She ate. Then she gave some to Adam, who was with her, and he ate. And in that moment, everything changed. Their eyes were opened, and for the first time, Adam and Eve realized that they were naked. The innocence they had known was gone. They looked at one another and felt shame. They hurried to cover themselves, taking leaves from a fig tree and making coverings for their bodies. Then they heard the Lord God moving through the garden in the cool of the day. Adam and Eve knew that they had disobeyed God, and for the first time, they were afraid of His presence. So they hid themselves among the trees of the garden. Moral lesson: temptation may seem harmless, but disobedience can lead us away from God. When we do wrong, hiding from God is never the answer. Instead, we should trust His word, resist temptation, and turn back to Him.